Welcome to Blasted Rock. This is a game between two of my favorite players. Always really good games. Here we got Rick playing as Cybran. It's a little underpowered. Taking on Spin, who's playing as Aeon. So we'll see Aeon on Cybran fight. Expect to see those auroras to be very important. Looks like first land from both players. See the early rating. Of course, Blasted Rock, bunch of civs in the middle. And run around a circle with 4 equivalent bases, also 4 pockets here. It's really 8 pockets separated by different land masses. 4 of those are bases, and 4 of those are a little rock here, a hydro, and a mass extractor. And a lot of very spread out. Yeah, we got some interesting stuff going on here early on. We got a flare that's looking for any engineers, and there is an engineer moving toward it. And a sneaky scout here that is going to be killed by Mantis, so first kill here for this Mantis. This flare is actually not going to ask any kind of permissions. It sneaks in, kills an engineer just in time. Very well done from Spin early on. A couple more flares coming out, a lot of aggression here from Spin. Going second land. Here's 5 pigeons, 2 land factories. It's pretty standard, and looks like this Mantis from Rick doing a lot of damage with 3 kills. Exposed engineer once again here. And these flares have been very valuable for Spin early on, taking out multiple engineers now. However, this Mantis sneaks into this pocket. It'll be a little bit of a pain for Spin. It's always interesting to watch Cybran versus Aeon, because the Aurora can really beat the Mantis in range. However, the Mantis is so quick it can get close to the Auroras and just tear them to shreds. So the micro becomes extremely important in Cybran versus Aeon games. Spin here, very aggressive. He could get himself in a little bit of trouble. We see quite a few units coming in along with Rick's ACU. And actually quite a few kills now, 7 kills, a few Auroras here in support. On the other side we see Mantis. Here's what we see. It's almost a 2v1 victory there for that Mantis, but one Mantis does sneak in. 3 kill Mantis takes out an engineer, big loss. Actually Spins all alone here. Some sneaky Auroras. This Hydra was nearly done, so very good Mantis there from Rick. Here come the Auroras in a raid. Getting a lot of kills here, and as long as they retreat, they got the range on the Manti. This is what the Auroras do very well. Regroup with another team here, and there's a lot of dead Manti all over the place. Looks like the top is taken by Rick. Spin retreats, 9 kills. PD being built, the map split in half, although a big attack here with these Auroras. The Manti are going to have to try to close down the distance, but this is big numbers of Auroras, and all they got to do is retreat. They shoot without being shot. 3 kills. Getting some veterans here. Sneaking in directly into Rick's base at PD being constructed. And really the way to counter it is with T2 if you're Cybran. So sneaky Manti on the other side. This will be really good. Hydra's finally finished, and air now from Spin. Good defense, the Auroras retreat. There's a lot of dead units here. A dead engineer. And a successful attack here from Rick takes out a Hydro. Manti are going to try to hide, some Auroras chasing them. Once again, good work here from Spin. Really abusing Aeon here. If Maverick was here, he would let us know what he thinks about these Auroras, and people can fill in the blank. One of his favorite units here. And looks like there the Manti were a little quick. A good attack there from Rick, so you really got to pay attention to it. Yeah, it's a opportunity taken there by Rick. It looks like Spin now is moving out. He's got the gun upgrade. He definitely has the range. It's not clear if he's got the rate. Doesn't look like he's got the rate. It's just the range. And now map control definitely shifting in Spin's favor. You can see, is there any teching here? Doesn't look like there are too many T2 mass extractors, which means it'll be a big economy loss here for Rick. Rick is going to try to defend against these Auroras with the ACU. This is more than 20 Auroras, so pretty dangerous. The top is taken by Spin, gets a PD. There's still an engineer here that needs to keep hiding, but it looks like it will just die. 3 Hydras now for Spin. It looks like a nice counter here from Rick. He's going to take out one of these pockets. Spin walking in with the ACU. Rick retreating. Now the engineers for Spin are going to take advantage of the map control. Now we might see the numbers translate into something, but we do see now T2 engineers. This is T2 Land Factory making hoplites. Spin's got to be careful. He's running into T2 PDs now with 18 kills, trying to get 20. And really, Auroras can't do anything against the defense like this. So Spin's got to use his map control and change the strategy here. Get some T2 units as well, because if he tries to take on these units with Auroras, he might be able to keep the map control, but he won't be able to make any progress inside this base. So Rick is relatively safe here. See some sneaky Auroras that are just going to get shredded. Spin once again, pushing up. Now you can see here a group of hoplites from Rick. 20 kills for Rick, and these now it's the other way around. Now Auroras want to get close to these hoplites so they don't get outranged. Rick has really switched up the micro for Spin. 29 kills, see a little bit of dodging there, and much longer range on these T2 units now. I'm not sure what Maverick would say about these units. These are cheating Auroras and these are cheating hoplites. And you can see the great use there from Rick, plus the splash damage on those rockets. This is pretty nice to see. And T2 now for Aeon, so we're now seeing the game minute 13. T2 versus T2, we got T2 PD. T2 PD can definitely outrange the hoplites, but it appears that Rick is attempting to retake a little bit more of the map. We got maybe perhaps a T2 PD creep here on top, or at least one T2 PD. Out on the bottom here, these hoplites have been marked very well. We see many kills for these, now 30 kills for Rick. Obsidian's moving in. And that was a terrible move there by Rick. He forgot to micro his hoplites. They just got run over by the Obsidians. T2 and there showed if you get close to them, they will shred you. But here Rick comes back to the relative safety of his PDs. We expect to see some missile launchers. No, it's still Obsidian's T2 power now, and that's going to be a huge advantage for Spin. And here comes a Jester. Haven't seen too much air at all this game, but a Jester is it's never too late for one of those. We also see looks like a transport. No, it's T2 T2 gunships now from Spin. He's been quietly making T2 air. Now attacking Rick. We expect to see some flag come out here real soon. Gotta get that flag. Now Obsidians together with gunships sneak in by a few PDs. Now these PDs are targeted by the gunships, but here comes the flag, and those gunships will die very quick, as well as some swift ones. T1 anti-air here for Spin. Got the one kill, the one Jester. And once again, Spin reestablishes pretty good map control here. Big advantage. We see T2 mass extractors. 2 T2 mass extractors for Rick and T2 power. We don't see T2 mass extractors for Spin, so you might be able to compensate at least a little bit for the loss of mass with a better eco. 34 kills for Rick. This T2 PD here has got a massive amount of kills, 23. Spin's got around, he's been at 18 kills for the last 7 minutes. T2 gunships take out the anti-air, so here's a huge prize here for Spin in minute 17. He's finally going to get the medal. T2 flag against gunships. Gunships going to run away. And some more stationary flag here for Rick. Looks like he's got stealth. And this T2 PD. T2 power being completed. We see these gunships raiding. I think that was a T1 mass extractor, and swift winds come in. Take out a few interceptors. Spin has been controlling this game, but really hasn't been able to put on the finishing touches. He's got both T2 air and T2 ground and much more eco. He's got T2 power. What is he making? He's got T3 ground. He's making Harbies. Maybe Harbies, maybe a little bit of artillery would be very good. Do we see, no, it's just hoplites from Rick. Rick comes out once again. Looks like he's got the gun upgrade as well as stealth, which will allow him to push quite far, and Harbies are Very vulnerable against an ACU like that. And now we are going to see some artillery from Aeon. That's going to be a major problem for Rick. But Rick does have a very nice hoplite force here, so if he can put pressure. It appears that Harvey has been killed. Another comes out. Rick with 42 kills is going to keep on moving in. On the other side, we got to keep an eye on this force. It's all T1. Spin getting an upgrade. And Rick causing trouble with his ACU. And now we are seeing gunships. I'll be very surprised if we don't see mercies here. Rick is really vulnerable to mercies in this situation, because these flak that's behind the ACU is definitely going to protect against gunships, but flak behind the ACU is not going to protect against mercy, especially T2 flak. Big push now against Rick. Some hoplites sneak in, they're going to do damage. Well, Rick moves all his hoplites over. Nice team of gunships. There goes the Harvey. This Harvey, there it goes, 2 overcharges for Rick. Good play from Rick. That was a pretty big loss there for Spin. He lost a lot of very good units. And back at base, we see T2 mass extractors getting killed. Surprising we don't see more flak here just sitting in the back of the base. And it looks like minimal losses, just T2 mass extractor and a few nice wrecks left for Rick. Now hoplite without micro gets destroyed. Multiple arties here that Rick has to worry about. They just ran into that. Looks like a big exodus of engineers. Not really sure why, but that is the case. Rick now with 85 kills, doing a lot of damage. Harvey sneaks in through the middle, gets overcharged. Good work from Rick. Now Spin's ACU with the shield and double gun upgrade moves in. Still got to be careful, although these PDs are under fire from artillery. Here, minute 25, it doesn't look very good for Rick anymore. Played very well, but he is taking on T3, 4 T3 artilleries, which are just firing into his base, and he can't do much about it. He's trying to get T3 land desperately. Now he is going to try to push against these. If he can take those out, he does force them to retreat. No more T2 PDs here, so it's a very vulnerable base if Spinner wanted to move in, but it looks like he's playing it very safe. 110 kills for Rick's ACU. And more Harveys coming out, more T2 power. Still no mercy, so pretty honorable play there from Spin. Spin gets yet another upgrade. Not sure what he could possibly be getting. Maybe he only had one of the guns. And we are now seeing arty from Rick as well. Rick is getting quite a bit of his eco from these wrecks. And this could be interesting. If Rick can come back from this type of situation, that'll be pretty amazing. Now Spin keeps walking back in, supported by a few Harveys. We do see some of the first artillery now for Rick. Now the 2 ACUs are facing off. Now Rick really got to take care of those. So he's got to overcharge those. Takes one of them out. They sneak in a little too deep, and that's really bad. If you let 2 Harveys just walk into your base, you're in trouble. Big trouble there for Rick. If he was able to overcharge all 3 of them with one hit, then maybe he would have a chance. One thing to note is the power storage dead. I believe it is. So no more overcharges for Rick. And Rick calls it a good game here at minute 28. Really good game with Aeon and Spin eventually won.